Welcome to a deep dive. Today, we're diving into the film Late Night with the Devil. Kind of an unexpected hit.
Definitely, yeah.
We've looked at a film review and also a podcast discussion about the movie. And our mission really is to unpack what makes it work so well. We're looking at its unique format, how it's grounded in history, the characters, obviously, and even some production details that were, well, surprising.
Yeah, there's a lot to dig into. So the setup is Halloween night, 1977. We're on the set of this late night talk show, Night Owls.
Right. And the premise itself is pretty gripping from the get-go, isn't it?
Totally. You've got Jack Delroy, the host. His show's struggling. His career's kind of on the ropes.
Needs a boost.
Exactly. So it's sweeps week. He needs ratings. And his big plan is to bring on a guest. Well, a guest who claims she's possessed by a demon.
Bold move for 77 television.
Very.
And what really makes it stand out, I think, is how they present it. The whole thing is framed as found footage. Like, this is the actual recording of that live broadcast from that one night, which, immediately puts you right there.
Yeah, that format choice is key. It creates this feeling that anything could happen because it's supposedly live TV, right? Back in the 70s.
And they really commit to it, the whole look of the film.
Oh, yeah. It's spot on. They deliberately went for that 1970s television aesthetic. The 4.3 aspect ratio, the picture isn't super sharp like today's movies.
It feels genuinely old, like you dug up a tape.
It does. And then there are those bits during the commercial breaks.
The black and white footage.
Right.
Yeah.
Which isn't part of the Night Owl show itself. It's meant to be the behind-the-scenes stuff, frantic moments when the main cameras are off.
Yeah, and showing it in black and white, it just reinforces that found footage idea. And you see the difference, right, between the smooth host on camera and the chaos backstage.
Absolutely. And another thing the sources really emphasized was how the film anchors itself in, real historical stuff.
Like the whole satanic panic vibe from the 70s.
Exactly. That was a real thing, that cultural anxiety. And the film uses it as this backdrop that makes the whole demonic possession angle feel, well, more plausible in context.
Yeah, and tied into that, the review mentioned the Johnny Carson rivalry.
Oh, right. That adds another layer to Jack's desperation.
Totally. His show, Night Owls, is losing to Carson badly. So that pressure fuels his decision to go so extreme for Sweeps Week. It feels, grounded in that cutthroat TV world.
And then there's the secret society element, the Grove.
Ah, yes, the Grove, with the owl imagery.
Jack supposedly involved. And the sources drew parallels to, real-world secretive groups like Bohemian Grove, maybe.
Yeah.
Powerful people, secret meetings.
And the show being called Night Owls, the owl symbols, it adds this hint of a deeper, darker conspiracy Jack might be caught up in. Makes you wonder what deals he might have made for fame.
It definitely adds an unsettling layer, which brings us to the atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah, the sources agreed the film builds this incredible sense of dread. It's not just about jump scares.
No, not at all. It's more this pervasive unease. From the start, you just feel like something bad is inevitable.
And that live format really helps that. You're stuck in that studio with them. There's no cutting away, really.
Right. And the podcast discussion pointed out the use of red herrings, little weird details that keep you on edge.
Like the guy in the audience in the skeleton costume.
Exactly. He just sits there completely silent. You keep waiting for him to do something, but he doesn't. But his presence is just creepy. Adds to the background weirdness.
Or wondering about the psychic, Kistronas. Is he a total fake? Or is there something actually happening there?
Yeah, the film plays with that ambiguity really well. It makes you doubt what you're seeing, which is way more unsettling than just a sudden shock.
Definitely amps up the discomfort.
And of course, central to pulling this all off are the performances. David Dastmalchian as Jack Delroy. He's fantastic.
He really is. He nails that, smooth 70s host persona. Slick, charming, cracking the jokes.
Looking right at the camera, almost pleading sometimes.
But then you see him in those black and white segments during the breaks.
Yeah, the mask completely drops. He's anxious, stressed, almost frantic. You really feel his desperation. His career's tanking. His wife recently died from cancer. It's all there under the surface.
And Dastmalchian conveys that duality so well, often just with a look or a small gesture. It's compelling.
The review made a good point, that he might not be your typical, Hollywood leading man.
Right.
But for this role, this complex kind of slippery character, he's perfect. He embodies that public face and the private turmoil brilliantly.
And then the guests on the show that night. They're all key.
You've got Christo, the psychic, Part of his act seems so obviously fake, like reading audience cards.
But then there are these moments, like his eyes rolling back. Makes you wonder, is it all fake?
Then there's Carmichael the Skeptic, described as pretty theatrical himself.
Based on James Randi, right? The debunker who offered prize money.
Yeah, that's the one. And he has his own bit of showmanship, like lighting a cigar with his hand, supposedly, all while trying to disprove everyone else.
Adds a different kind of tension. And Dr. June Ross Mitchell, the parapsychologist.
Right, she's there with her book, but mainly she's there with Lily.
Lily, the young girl who's supposedly possessed. And the sources made a point of saying it's a demon, not necessarily like Satan himself.
Which is an interesting distinction. And Ingrid Torelli, who plays Lily, apparently this was her first big film role.
Yeah, that's what they fit.
And she was highlighted as being incredibly effective, really unnerving, even before the big demonic stuff happens.
The descriptions of that transformation, the greasy hair, the slashed face, the green-yellow eyes, the voice change, sounded genuinely disturbing.
Definitely sounds like a standout performance.
And we can't forget Gus, the sidekick, the band leader.
Oh, poor Gus. Yeah, he's the butt of Jack's jokes a lot of the time.
But he's also kind of the audience's voice, right? The
Yep.
voice of reason, almost.
He totally is. He's the one expressing concern, warning Jack about messing with this stuff, noticing the creepy preparations backstage, like restraints.
Yeah, but his career is tied to Jack's, so he can't just walk away, even though he's clearly freaked out.
Right. It adds this whole other layer to their dynamic, that sort of reluctant complicity.
So shifting gears a bit to behind the camera.
Yeah.
The production itself got a lot of praise in the sources.
Oh, yeah. The set design, the costumes, everything to capture that 70s TV studio feel. They said it felt really authentic, not just like, putting a filter on it.
Like stepping back in time.
Exactly. And for horror fans, the practical effects were mentioned as a real highlight.
Yeah, like what?
Well, they mentioned Gus's torso apparently tearing open with worms and Lily's transformation. They described these moments as being really well done, impactful, and a nice change from relying too much on CGI. A treat for genre fans, I think was the phrase used.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
there was also some talk about AI being used in the film.
Yes, that came up. It's important to be really clear about what the sources actually said here.
Right. So the AI wasn't used for, like, writing the script or creating the main visuals or anything like that?
No, it was specifically for some static images like title cards or transitional graphics shown during the commercial break sections.
Oh.
Things like stylized pictures of a skeleton or an owl, little interstitial bits.
And the timing was important too, right? This was apparently done before the big SAG-AFTRA strikes that really focused on AI use in film.
Mm-hmm. That context was provided. And the sources basically presented the different reactions. Some people felt it was, a very minor thing, maybe a storm in a teacup.
But others raised the point that, well, even for those small images, that's potentially a job a graphic designer could have done.
Exactly. And it was mentioned that the lead actor, Dastmalchian, has apparently said that if they were making the film now, after all the discussions, they probably wouldn't use AI even for those elements.
So it's a point of discussion. The sources just laid out the facts of how it was used and the different viewpoints, not really taking a side.
Right, just reporting on the conversation around it.
Okay. So circling back to the film's strengths, one thing that came up was its subtlety and how that makes it really rewatchable.
Definitely. Apparently, it's packed with little details, visual cues, references, things you might totally miss the first time through.
Like what sort of things?
Well, they mentioned a reference to the movie The Goodbye Girl that ties into Jack's late wife, details about the show's sponsor that connect to something in the audience, and that recurring owl imagery linking back to The Grove.
Right. Things that aren't spelled out, but if you catch them on a second viewing, they add layers.
Exactly. They add depth to the story, the characters, a whole atmosphere. Makes you want to go back and look closer.
So, I mean, based on everything we read and heard, the overall takeaway from the sources was pretty positive. Right?
Oh, very strong recommendation, yeah. For Late Night with the Devil.
The performances, Dastmalchian and Torelli especially, that authentic feel, the unique found footage approach, the tension. Yeah. It all comes together.
It really seems to. The sources basically said it stands out as something genuinely effective and quite original within the horror genre.
They did mention the ending might be a bit divisive for some people.
Yeah, that came up. Not everyone might love how it wraps up, apparently. But even with that caveat, the overall experience was considered, highly worthwhile.
So yeah, this deep dive really shows how Late Night with the Devil uses that format, the historical context, these layered characters, uses them all to build something pretty unique and unsettling in horror.
It's a great case study in how you can build dread through atmosphere and subtle hints, not just, loud noises and jump scares.
Yeah. It makes you think about how filmmakers can use unconventional presentation like found footage, or weave in those little details to make the experience richer and, frankly, more tense for you, the viewer.
And also how real cultural anxieties, like that satanic panic, can still resonate and be used to tell scary stories decades later.
Absolutely. And the film, I think, really probes that dark side of ambition.
Right.
Chasing fame, ratings, what someone might do when they feel like they've got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, it leaves you with that question, doesn't it? How far would someone push things, reality, maybe even morality, just for success? It's a chilling thought.
Definitely food for thought. So if you get the chance, you should really check out Late Night with the Devil and see all this for yourself.